Well, I'm about to go to the G.I. Joe movie, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and I've been waiting for this movie for 25 years, I guess, since like 1982, so let's see what goes on. Well, the G.I. Joe movie, G.I. Joe in particular, has been a really important part of my life. There's a lot of really great memories I have. I remember one of my friends back in Northwood, Sean and Jason, they were into G.I. Joe, and basically the comic book came out. Then I kind of got into that as well. And I remember when I was visiting my grandparents, my grandpa, walking around Walmart, and he was trying to figure out what I wanted for my birthday. And I pointed at some G.I. Joe stuff, and there was a Jeep with it. And then for my birthday I got that Jeep and a few other action figures, and I pretty much started my fandom of G.I. Joe. The comic book, at the time, and this is when I was in 7th, 8th grade, this comic book was like unlike any other comic book at the time for me. It was real. People, there were consequences for your actions on there. There was a deep moral and political outcomes. They used big words. I remember I had to actually look up some of the words and look up what they actually meant. And I would actually use those words in my speech. So, you know, you think a lot, you think off the surface this is some stupid blown up action movie, which this may wind up being. But on the comic book itself, and this is before I was aware of any graphic novels and whatnot, G.I. Joe was just that powerful to me, the story-wise, and I would buy the comic books and look forward to them each month. They were 60 cents at the time, and which I don't know how much they cost today's money, but back then it was a little bit of a sacrifice to pony up 60 cents instead of playing 2 games of Pac-Man or something, or Donkey Kong. So anyways, that's where G.I. Joe is to me. And so I really hope this film is really good. Let's hope the G.I. Joe movie rocks. Well, I just purchased my G.I. Joe ticket, and they gave me some trading cards, which I'm sure are going to be very collectible down the line. And the person that sold me the ticket wasn't even alive. It was like 10 years younger than the G.I. Joe comic book when it came out. So that just shows you how old it is and whatnot. So we'll see how the movie is. Right now they really haven't sold very many. It's 1:30. This is the first showing here in Nacogdoches. I could have went to the midnight showing in Lufkin, but I didn't. So see what happens, man. Yo Joe. Alright. I just came out of the G.I. Joe film, and I will say this. It is actually not a bad film. It's got a plot, it's got a story. I think the acting was good, the special effects are all there. I was expecting this movie to be the Matrix meets the Blade, and it actually turned out to be a really good film. I am like really surprised and really shocked. They kept a lot of things true to the spirit of the comic. It's not a movie they would have made in 1982. It's a 2009 film without a doubt. However, the spirit of it is there, and I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how well it turned out. I'm like, you know, G.I. Joe, I'm giving it a thumbs up. G.I. Joe's a thumbs up film. Alright, arriving back from the movie, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and I am really surprised at how good this film is. I'm trying to think of a rating of it, because is this a film I want to go out and see again? Would I pay money to see it again? In some ways I want to say yes. However, since I've already seen it, I'm not quite sure that I want to go see it again. It's kind of like it's not a Star Wars, but definitely I gotta go see it again. A couple of things happen in there that I've been wanting to see live action, and of course, you know, there's always an ending, you know, like you end with a question mark, you know, that way it leaves open for a sequel potentially. In some ways, I kind of think this should be it. No sequel. Just leave it as it is. They made a mistake on The Matrix. They should have kept it the first movie, because the next 2 movies has really ruined the franchise, in my opinion.
A lot of really good things was in this film, and I'm just kind of speechless in some ways that it actually was a really good film. They couldn't have done this film, you know, 10 years ago. I mean, the CGI, there's a lot in it, but the CGI really never, in my mind, never got in the way of the story. And is there a plot there? Is there a screenplay? Is there a story? Do you care about the characters? Yeah. There's love stories going on in there. There's action blowing up. There's political stuff going on. I am really surprised at how good this film actually is. So I'm trying to think on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, I'm gonna give G.I. Joe a 9. I'm gonna give G.I. Joe a 9. It's not a 10, but it could be a 10. And I'm trying to think why I wouldn't give it a 10. I can't really say why I wouldn't give it a 10. I'm gonna give it 9 right now, and I may change that after I think about it a little bit more. But right now I'm gonna give it a 9. 9 out of 10. That's not too bad. Yo, Joe.